The blade fell fast and without hesitation. It was March 15th, 44 BCE, the Ides of March. Inside the Senate chamber in Rome, Julius Caesar stood surrounded by men he once called allies. Among them, Brutus, his friend, his protege. The first dagger cut into his back, then another, and another. 23 stab wounds, some so frenzied they tore muscle from bone. As Caesar collapsed beneath the statue of Pompey, he wasn't just a man dying, he was the Roman Republic breathing its last breath. The senators thought they were saving the Republic. Instead, they paved the way for empire. Caesar's assassination didn't stop tyranny. It created a power vacuum. Civil war followed, and when the dust settled, Octavian, later Augustus, ruled not as a man of the people, but as the first emperor of Rome. One death, one shift, a republic dead and an empire born. June 28, 1914. A young couple rides through Sarajevo in an open-top car. Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary, heir to the Habsburg throne, waves to the crowd. Beside him, his wife Sophie smiles. The morning had already seen one failed assassination attempt. A grenade bounced off their car and injured bystanders. Ferdinand insisted on visiting the wounded in the hospital. His driver, unfamiliar with the new route, made a wrong turn and stopped the car just meters from a small cafe. At that cafe stood 19-year-old Gavrilo Princip, a Serbian nationalist, a dreamer, a radical, and now, by sheer chance, a man with a perfect shot. 2 bullets. One struck Sophie, one hit Franz Ferdinand. She died instantly. He bled out moments later. The world teetered. Within weeks, alliances activated like dominoes. Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia. Russia mobilized. Germany invaded Belgium. Britain joined. What followed was World War I, a conflict that killed millions, destroyed empires, and rewrote the modern world. It began not with a declaration, but with 2 bullets and an engine stall. April 14, 1865. Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. is alive with laughter. President Abraham Lincoln sits in the presidential box watching a comedy. The war is ending. The Union has won. And Lincoln, weary but hopeful, finally smiles. Behind him, the door creaks open. John Wilkes Booth, a famous actor and Southern sympathizer, steps forward. A pistol in one hand, a dagger in the other. At point-blank range, he fires into the back of Lincoln's head. Chaos erupts. Booth leaps to the stage, breaking his leg on landing, but still shouting, "Sic semper tyrannis," thus always to tyrants. Lincoln dies the next morning. Booth believed he was avenging the South. Instead, he killed the man best positioned to heal the country. In the years that followed, Reconstruction faltered. Racial violence surged. The South dug into segregation. Booth didn't restore the Confederacy. He only deepened America's wounds. January 30th, 1948. In a garden in New Delhi, Mohandas Gandhi walks toward evening prayers. His hands folded, head bowed. No bodyguards, no armor, just a man in a simple white robe, trying to build peace in a country split by partition, bloodshed, and fear. From the crowd, a man steps forward, Nathuram Godse. He bows, then pulls a pistol. 3 shots. Gandhi collapses. The Mahatma, the great soul, is dead. India freezes in grief. Trains stop. People weep in the streets. Godse believed Gandhi was too lenient toward Muslims, that he betrayed Hindu identity. But what he killed was bigger than any religion. He killed a symbol, a movement, the idea that freedom could come without violence. The fire of partition would burn hotter after Gandhi's death. India and Pakistan would never truly heal. November 22, 1963, Dallas, Texas. John F. Kennedy rides through Dealey Plaza in a convertible, waving. He's young, charismatic, and hopeful. The Cold War simmers, but Kennedy carries a certain calm. From a sixth-floor window of the Texas School Book Depository, shots crack the air. The president's head jerks forward. The motorcade speeds off. In less than an hour, JFK is declared dead. Lee Harvey Oswald, the alleged shooter, is captured. But 2 days later, before he can be interrogated, he's shot on live television by Jack Ruby, a nightclub owner with mob ties. And just like that, the truth dissolves into smoke. Kennedy's assassination marked a loss far greater than a leader. It shattered a nation's innocence. Conspiracies multiplied. Faith in government began to erode. Vietnam escalated. Martin Luther King Jr. would fall. Robert Kennedy would follow. Hope itself seemed hunted. One shot, a decade of unrest. November 4, 1995, Tel Aviv. Israeli Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin stands on stage, having just delivered a speech about peace. He had signed the Oslo Accords with Yasser Arafat, a bold move to end decades of bloodshed between Israelis and Palestinians. As he walks to his car, a young Israeli extremist pushes through the crowd. 3 shots. Rabin falls. The assassin is Yigal Amir, not a Palestinian, not a foreign agent, but an Israeli citizen who believed peace was betrayal. The crowd scatters, the future fractures. Rabin's death didn't just halt a peace process, it hardened hearts. Within months, negotiations collapsed, violence returned, and the dream of a two-state solution dimmed. Sometimes the enemy isn't outside the walls, it's within them. Others followed. Benazir Bhutto gunned down in Pakistan moments after defying the Taliban. Robert F. Kennedy murdered just after winning the California primary, his victory speech still echoing in the ballroom. Martin Luther King Jr. struck down in Memphis while organizing a movement for the poor. Each one carried a vision. Each one carried a cost. Their killers often hoped to stop change. But in death, the assassinated often become more powerful than they were alive. Martyrs, symbols, movements in flesh, now immortal. But not all assassinations lead to revolution. Sometimes the silence that follows is deafening. Sometimes a single death derails decades of progress. And sometimes, like a whisper in a storm, it changes everything, quietly and completely. In the end, assassination is the most desperate form of politics. A bullet where a ballot could have been. A knife where a conversation failed. The tools of cowards who believe history can be shaped with a trigger. But history has a long memory. Caesar died, but Rome changed forever. Gandhi fell, but nonviolence became a global weapon. Kennedy was silenced, but his vision haunted every leader after. An assassination may end a life, but it cannot end an idea.